There is a particular kind of silence that money cannot buy back. It is the silence of a hotel lobby where 500 rooms sit vacant, rooms that once commanded $800 a night, now gathering dust behind do not disturb signs that nobody bothered to flip. It is the silence of a beach club where the DJ booth collects dust and the sun loungers face an empty sea, where bottles of Moet that once sold for 2,000 dirham a pop now sit uncorked in a stockroom that nobody is visiting. It is the silence of an airport terminal, Dubai International, the single busiest international aviation hub on the planet, a place that once processed over 92 million passengers in a single year, where the departure boards now flicker with cancellation after cancellation, and the duty-free halls that used to generate over $2 billion annually echo with the footsteps of staff with nothing to do. This is Dubai in 2026. And this silence is not just eerie. It is expensive. Catastrophically, structurally, historically expensive. To understand how far Dubai has fallen, you first need to understand how high it climbed, and how deliberately it climbed there. This was never a city that happened organically. Dubai was engineered. Every hotel, every beach resort, every rooftop club, every duty-free terminal was placed with surgical precision into a master plan designed to make the world feel that this strip of Gulf coastline was the center of all human ambition. And for a remarkable stretch of time, it worked. By 2025, Dubai was welcoming over 20 million international visitors a year. The hotels on Sheikh Zayed Road ran at occupancy rates that made hoteliers in Paris and New York envious. The beach clubs at JBR and Palm Jumeirah had waiting lists. Brunch reservations at rooftop restaurants were booked 3 weekends in advance. The entire identity of modern Dubai rested on one invisible but irreplaceable asset, the feeling of absolute safety in an absolutely unstable region. When that feeling disappeared, everything built on top of it began to shake. On the 28th of February 2026, the geopolitical tensions that Dubai had spent decades carefully insulating itself from finally arrived at its doorstep. The attack near Jebel Ali did not just damage infrastructure. It shattered something far more valuable and far harder to rebuild: confidence. Within 72 hours, Dubai International Airport, the single busiest international aviation hub on the planet, suspended operations due to security threats. For a city whose entire economic architecture depends on the free movement of people and capital, this was not just an inconvenience. It was the equivalent of cutting off blood supply to a vital organ. The cancellations began almost immediately. In the first week of March 2026 alone, over 80,000 hotel bookings were wiped from the system. 80,000. That is not a dip in tourism numbers. That is an erasure. That is the entire annual visitor count of a mid-sized European resort city, gone in 7 days. And that was just the first wave. By the end of March, forward booking data across Dubai's hospitality sector had collapsed by an estimated 65% compared to the same period in 2025. And unlike a pandemic, where people stayed home knowing they could return, this was different. This time, people left asking themselves whether they would ever come back at all. Walk through Dubai today and you will see it in every corner. The beach clubs on the Palm that once charged 500 dirham just for a sun lounger are now offering free entry with no takers. Properties generating upwards of 3 million dirham on a single busy Friday night are now unlocking their doors to near-empty terraces. The infinity pools at luxury resorts shimmer in the 45-degree heat with no one floating in them, attendants restacking towels that will not be unfolded. The hotel corridors that once buzzed with rolling luggage and multilingual conversation, serving over 140,000 hotel rooms across the emirate, now carry only the hum of air conditioning cooling empty rooms. Occupancy rates at some of the Palm's flagship resorts have dropped to as low as 28%, against the 85 to 90% those same properties were posting just 2 months ago. That is not a slowdown. That is a collapse measured in percentage points. The clubs, once the heartbeat of Dubai's nightlife economy, generating an estimated 4.5 billion dirham annually across venues, bottle service, and late-night dining, sit silent on nights that would previously have had queues stretching around the block. Promoters are reporting cancellations running at 70 to 80% of their usual bookings. The most recognized venue names on the circuit have already shrunk their teams from hundreds down to skeleton crews waiting for a revival that has not yet arrived. Walk through the Dubai Mall, over 1,200 retail outlets, its own indoor ski slope, its own aquarium, and you will notice something unthinkable 2 years ago. Vacant retail units. Luxury pop-ups with no foot traffic. Food court chains where staff outnumber customers. The mall that once attracted over 105 million visitors a year, more footfall than the entire population of Germany, is recording daily visitor counts that retail analysts describe privately as unrecognizable. Jewelry stores that relied on Indian, Chinese, and European tourists, who collectively accounted for nearly 60% of high-end retail spending, are reporting weeks without a single significant transaction. This emptiness is not evenly distributed. It is concentrated with brutal precision in the very places Dubai invested the most to make unmissable: the landmarks, the icons, the record breakers that were supposed to prove this city had transcended geography and instability permanently. Those are exactly the places sitting emptiest now. And every day they sit empty, the bill gets larger. Here is something the tourism numbers alone do not capture. It is not just tourists who are leaving Dubai. It is the people who live there. With 88% of its population made up of foreign nationals, Dubai was always a city held together by the promise of opportunity and stability rather than by roots or citizenship. The moment that promise feels uncertain, the calculation changes almost overnight. Since March 2026, real estate agents across Dubai Marina, Business Bay, and Jumeirah have reported a sharp spike in lease terminations and property listings. Expat professionals, the bankers, tech workers, consultants, and hospitality managers who form the backbone of Dubai's white-collar economy, are quietly activating relocation plans that had previously existed only as distant contingencies. Already, 40,000 expats have left Dubai in 2026 alone. And analysts warn this number will only get worse. This is the part of the story that Dubai's official communications have been slowest to address. Because an expat leaving does not just take themselves. They take their monthly salary spend, their weekend restaurant bills, their gym memberships, their school fees, their supermarket runs. Each departing family removes a node from the economic network that keeps this city functioning. And when enough nodes go, the network does not slow down gracefully. It begins to collapse in clusters. Let us be precise about what this emptiness actually costs. Dubai's tourism sector contributes approximately 11.5% of the Emirates' total GDP, roughly 97 billion dirham in direct economic output annually. In a city with virtually no oil revenue of its own, unlike Abu Dhabi which draws nearly 30% of its GDP from hydrocarbons, tourism is not a secondary industry. It is a load-bearing pillar. And right now, that pillar is cracking. Dubai's 140,000 plus hotel rooms, running at 80% occupancy through 2025, generated an estimated 35 billion dirham in room revenue annually. Current occupancy rates, now sitting closer to 28 to 30% at many properties, have torn somewhere between 10 and 15 billion dirham out of that figure on an annualized basis. Total hospitality sector losses for the first half of 2026 are being projected at between 18 and 22 billion dirham, the worst six-month performance the sector has ever recorded. Airport retail and food and beverage concessions that generated over $2 billion annually are now running at a fraction of capacity. Emirates Airline has cut seat capacity to European destinations by an estimated 35%, with long-haul Asian routes reduced by similar margins. The aviation ecosystem, which supports 415,000 jobs and contributes 27% of Dubai's GDP, is contracting at a pace economists are calling historically unprecedented for this emirate. Every day the airport is shut down, every day Emirates is grounded, the city loses roughly $100 million in direct aviation value alone. Meanwhile the fixed costs never stop. 8 billion dirham in annual hospitality sector payroll. Tens of millions per month in utility bills cooling empty resorts. Loan repayments modeled on occupancy assumptions that no longer exist. Every empty room. Every idle cabana. Every silent restaurant. Each one a lost revenue line running alongside a cost line that never pauses. That gap is where economies bleed. And in Dubai right now, it is widening every single day. The beaches are still beautiful. The towers still rise impossibly high. The infrastructure is still world-class. But a city is not its skyline. A city is its people, and right now, the people are not coming. Whether they return will depend not on how Dubai rebuilds its hotels or relaunches its resorts. It will depend on whether it can rebuild the one thing no architect can design and no government decree can mandate: trust.